Johnny Manziel still continues to get talk like I've never seen anything like for anybody in the CFL. And it still tends to be positive. Now, he's on the Dan Patrick Show. What I think is interesting is Dan did talk about the rules and how much you know about Canada and how much you know about the game itself. But he got to really sort of what the heart of the matter is. And I think it's interesting because I see it two ways. If I'm the journalist, and there's Dave Bastel, and I know his background, he's coming up and he's playing for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. And
good team.
And I'm thinking, okay, he said he signed a 2-year contract. I'm going to ask him. So you got to play for 2 years. Now, if you're Dave Bastel, you got to say the right things like, oh, yeah, I'm committed to living here in Winnipeg, right? Mm-hmm. Winnipeg. And because I think if you're Johnny Manziel, you think he came up here to retire in the Canadian Football League? I find it hard to believe that that's really what the end goal is. So he's got to be not as honest maybe as he's supposed to. So how does he answer that question? Let's find out. Here's Dan Patrick.
And then you're committed to 2 years. So no matter how successful you are that first year, you can't go to the NFL. A team is interested in you. Is that correct?
That's essentially what it is. Yes, sir.
How familiar are you with the Canadian Football League?
I started watching a little bit last year. I watched their championship game. I watched some of Hamilton's games last year. When you don't have a lot of time doing ball or anything like that, and you're just watching the NFL and you're watching college football, and you're, why not throw the CFL stuff on there if that's a possibility for where I was going to be? So, I watched last year. Getting up here, I feel like I've got some of the majority of the main rules down. And now the offense is just June Jones' system that he's run forever. And I think it's very, very interesting. I think it's a nice little offensive game plan we have here.
What is a bigger difference for you, the field being wider at 65 yards or the fact that there's going to be 12 players on defense?
I haven't got there yet. Right now, the thing you notice the most is the field being wider, because when your trips are to the field, some of those throws to that outside Z or X are, definitely you definitely have to get on the majority of your throws and really let it fly. That's one thing. There is no really lobbing the ball around here because there's so much space. You really step into it and let it rip. And, I think that fits my game style a little bit. And as far as the 12th, defender goes, it just looks different. It's not what I'm familiar to seeing as far as you come up and you look at your front from defense, look at where your backers are. Things are just a little bit off because there's that extra guy. But, at the end of the day, it's still ball. You're still throwing it into the windows. You're still throwing man routes. You're still throwing people open.
What? Did we just become best friends? Yep.